Hey guys, James here, and yeah, I'm just gonna go outright say it. I'm disappointed with some next time. Like, I don't think I've ever been this fucking disappointed by an announcement of an episode. Many people are excited for it. I well know I'm in the minority of this, but Jesus Christ. Next time is SpongeBob versus Super Friends Aquaman. This seems like a fucking cartoon Fight Club matchup or something you'll see on the Death Battle fanon. Why is this an episode? Like, I've seen so many people like, woo! And I'm just like, why is this? And I'm in the minority of this, I know, but Jesus Christ. I think, like, Trunks vs. Silver, I think I said that was the most disappointing announcement this whole season. SpongeBob versus Super Friends Aquaman takes the cake for that. I was not expecting it to do that. But why am I disappointed? I should specify this, because I've seen so many people very hyped about it, so many people excited for it, so why am I disappointed? Oh, excuse me. Well, I know many people like Gumball versus SpongeBob or Chowder versus SpongeBob. I think both are shit. For starters, I don't like SpongeBob in Death Battle. I never vibed with any matchup from the series, especially from the character. I think if I would have been okay with any matchup, it probably would have been Goofy versus Patrick, and that's it. Just because of the community Death Battle being pretty interesting debate-wise. That is it. I have no other interest to have SpongeBob in Death Battle. Not a single matchup sparked my interest, nor made me want the franchise in the series. Why is that? Well, one, I don't even like SpongeBob. I like the first movie. I respect the early seasons. I never liked it, though. And I know that's not enough of a reason to say this shouldn't be in the show. There are plenty of other franchises where I don't like them, but fuck it, let them on the show, I guess. I just don't really like seeing it in Versus. I don't really have, not in Versus, but I don't really have like a very deep dive specific reason for not wanting SpongeBob in Death Battle outside me just not liking the franchise. I just really don't want to see it in Death Battle. My other reason is that this cucks our cartoon episode of the season, because this 100% is going to count as our cartoon episode of the season. I don't need to explain this. We've had at least one every season, lately at least. In Season 7, we got Danny versus Jake. 8, we got Star versus Steven. 6, you could argue, was Ben versus Hal. This season, there were plenty of options for a great cartoon matchup. Showtime, Homer versus Peter, Jenny versus Robot Boy, Bill versus Discord. Plenty of good options. We went with SpongeBob versus fucking Aquaman. Now you might say, oh, that might not count, because Aquaman's a DC comic character. This is Super Friends Aquaman, which comes from a cartoon from like the fucking 70s, like late 70s to early 80s, I want to say. When did it? I think Super Friends came out in 1973? I don't know the exact day. I think that's it. 73 or 76? Do I? Yeah, I don't know when it came out, but it's cucking our cartoon slab the season for a matchup that's not even good. Like, the connections are just that they live in the sea, they talk the sea life and are friends with them, and they're goofy. The third one, isn't even, like, the same. SpongeBob is goofy and, like, is laughed at because he's meant to be laughed at. Fucking Super Friends Aquaman is laughed at because he's pathetic, he's lame, and he's stupid. So I already kind of feel like a mean-spirited connection right there. Like, he's not purposely goofy. Like, it feels a bit mean-spirited to Aquaman here. So, really, it's just kind of two connections. Like, they're aquatic cartoon hero, not really a hero. SpongeBob's not really a hero. He's just a fucking sponge that works at McDonald's. So, cartoon characters. That's really it. The cartoon characters live in the sea. There are many of the other cartoon matchups that would have been great this season. I've heard some people say, "Oh, but it's different." So if it's a season's theme, I'm like, that's like a gray zone argument to me, because SpongeBob is different. That's a new franchise. You would have gotten that with any other cartoon matchups I listed. Like Bill vs. Discord, only one is new, but it's the same thing here. And I think what they more so mean is that we got Super Friends, a specific version of a character. We just fucking got one of those. We just had Xenoverse Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and Archie Sonic. Two different versions of franchises, like using characters from certain versions, not the main one. How does that make this unique? That's my question. How is this one different? How is it different to make up for these shitty connections? I don't get it. I don't see it, and I really don't fucking get this argument. Oh god. So I've seen just people are hyped for it, but from what I can tell, they're only hyped of it because of SpongeBob. I've seen people say that this episode is bad if Aquaman wins. Oh god. I've seen many people say they hope Aquaman dies. Whether because of how he's portrayed in the cartoon, which more so just blame the times and the writers, not really the character. And also because of Aquaman versus Namor, which is a horrible argument. Aquaman vs. Namor wasn't even that bad of an episode. It was just good. It was a good episode. It wasn't great, but it was still good. And that's a horrible reason to say, I want this fucker to die. So it just seems very mean-spirited towards Aquaman. Like, holy shit. Oh, God. And that's also part of the reason why I'm not really a fan of this. It seems very spiteful to Aquaman. Jesus. Also, something I want to bring up is that Ben and Liam said that they've been teasing this matchup. They've been teasing it recently or a lot lately. Excuse me. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Unless I'm missing something, this has not been teased. The very closest this has been teased in Death Battle, the show itself, is all the way back in season 6 with Aquaman versus Namor, just with one fucking joke, comparing Aquaman to SpongeBob. That is it. That's not recently. That's 3 fucking years ago. How is that recently? The only other thing I could see with the show teasing it is that they've used SpongeBob footage. Which I don't... That's not teasing. If so, then... If that counts as teasing, then they've been teasing Finn and Jake versus Mordecai and Rigby and fucking Harley Quinn versus Jinx. Because they had clips from... They showed a clip from regular show. They teased that matchup. They're teasing Homer versus Peter because they've had used clips of Family Guy and Simpsons. That's not really I should say hinting, not teasing. But you get my point. It's not really teasing. It's not really hinting at this. It's just stretched to call that hinting. And then, I kind of saw back, okay, what about outside the Death Battle in the Death Battle cast? Nothing. I can think of 2 examples, and again, they're not really hinting at anything. One is the Community Death Battle, Goofy versus Patrick, because it used a SpongeBob character. I don't think I need to really give an example on why it's a fucking stupid argument to say that's hinting. And then the other hinting argument I could think of was when, sometime last year, I think it was, during Season 8, when, they're kind of throwing the shit about, some possible matchups, and, Liam said that he wants to bring SpongeBob in, but he didn't like Chowder as an option. That's not hinting either. By that argument, we are hinting that we're going to get a fucking Percy Jackson MU, because apparently he said that he didn't like Percy Jackson versus Harry Potter in that same one. Why is this not playing. Okay, that's going to. Like, that's not hinting at anything. Like, Jesus. Unless I'm, like, blanking on anything else, if anyone has, like, any other examples of them hinting at this matchup, be my guest to explain them, because I can't think of anything. And I don't feel like watching hours of Death Battle Cast just to find, like, one little thing of them saying anything about SpongeBob or fucking Super Friends or Aquaman or any of that shit. Like, God, I don't know what the hell they mean by hinting at this. But that's my thoughts on this matchup. Why I'm not really excited for this, and I'm honestly quite disappointed. Oh, God. I've already seen some people kind of be dicks about this, too. Like, oh, you don't like this matchup that got teased? Or this match that got announced? Like, yes, I don't, like, some people, there's not a lot, but some people are excited about this and honestly found it disappointing. As people are being dicks about it, just like, let them not enjoy it if they don't like it. Forcing it on them is not going to make them like it more. Oh, God. Anyway, who do I think will win? SpongeBob. I looked around a little bit. I did not have the energy to really do a deep dive. Plus, as far as I can tell, Super Friends is pretty under-researched. But Super Friends Aquaman should get to, like, Star and Fast and Light. I assume it comes from scaling. I didn't exactly look into how he gets to this. So I do believe he kind of gets there via scaling to, like, maybe Wonder Woman or Superman. I don't fucking know. And then SpongeBob gets Uni to Uni to multi with Massively Fast and Light. So not really much of a debate here. Oh, God. And I assume, like, SpongeBob just has general better hacks. Because he has he has, like, really good regen. At least from what I can tell, I'm not a big SpongeBob expert. I don't like SpongeBob outside of the first movie, so... I need a drink. I should have got water. But he has, like, generally good regen and just tuned for shenanigans going for him. So, you know, there's that. Kind of that just going for the Spongy Babu. Like, I like the SpongeBob anime just because it's stupid, but Jesus, I don't like the cartoon. I respect the guy that made it. I don't remember his name, but I do have respect for him for what he did. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be an easy SpongeBob win. I was going to say this now. I'm rooting for fucking Aquaman here. Going by the fact I've already seen people say that they hope he dies, they won't like the episode if he wins. And just, I have not seen a single person say they're rooting for Aquaman. It's either they're rooting for SpongeBob or they're rooting for nobody. So I'm going to throw this guy a fucking pity. I'm just going to pity him and root for Aquaman here. I will be lynched for this. Oh, God. But I'm rooting for Aquaman, and I see SpongeBob winning this. I'm betting on Spongy. Anyways, for the fight itself, I feel like it'll either, like, take place at the Krusty Krab. Maybe Aquaman finds out that, or thinks that the Krabby Patties are made out of fish. So he just, like, bursts in on his seahorse. His majestic seahorse. To, like, try to stop him, but Mr. Krabs says SpongeBob deals with him. I don't know, it's probably in character for Krabs. I hear he's a dick. Oh, excuse me. So, I don't know if they're going to be basing SpongeBob on his older personality or his newer personality. I think probably his older character. Just because, from what I hear, that's the version of SpongeBob people like. I don't know about his character. I don't know if people like his newer, like his modern character interpretations. But I do know people love his older character interpretations. But I feel like it might be that, and then like the fight starts from there. Or maybe SpongeBob is out jellyfish hunting with his net. and he accidentally swats his net on Aquaman, or on Aquaman seahorse. Or actually, I just thought of this. Aquaman's like friends with a jellyfish, and SpongeBob captures it with his net. So Aquaman thinks SpongeBob's the enemy of the sea. I don't fucking know. This would have been a great episode to use that comic startup that they use in Black Adam vs. Apocalypse. I just want to point that out. Anywho, I kind of like that second option more. I think it works. I think it works a lot better. It'll be funny. I don't know. And like, I hope they just don't make Aquaman seem like a fucking bitch in this episode. Like, have him have cool moments. Like, nobody's wanting the guy to win. Just give him pity. I really hope they don't shit on Aquaman this episode. That's something I've been having in the back of my mind. Like, they're gonna shit on Aquaman because it's Super Friends Aquaman. So, And I also hope it's not gonna be filled to the brim with SpongeBob memes. It's Liam's writing it. I know he's a meme lover. I know he can hold back the memes with Dio versus Alucard, or at least do them so they're fitting and not forced. So hope he does it here and not forces them, because holy shit, that's not gonna be fun. Anyways, back to like the fight stuff you could have Aquaman do. It's like maybe like a whirlpool that sucks in SpongeBob, because beyond it's going to take place in water. Or he could like start boiling or freezing the water near SpongeBob, like try to trap him. I don't know. And like SpongeBob, you could have him use the pencil, the magical pencil. Maybe he can bring in the magical book so he can become his super SpongeBob form from the Sponge Out of Water movie. I think that's the name of the movie. The second movie, with SpongeBob in real life New York City. Maybe you could do that. Like, maybe have them, like, do some fisticuffs in the fight. I don't know. Maybe SpongeBob can trap Aquaman in a bubble, but Aquaman uses his trident or calls in a swordfish to free him. I don't know. Something I do hope, like, near the end of the fight, is that Aquaman calls upon an army of sea life, like sharks, swordfish, whales, dolphins, turtles, seahorses, just everything. I don't want just the same fish. Have like have variety, have lots of different sea animals in there. And like they start circling Spongy Babu, and like they start circling the area. I don't know, that could be fun. If Aquaman somehow pulls out a win, just pulls that high-tier Herald scaling that is surprisingly in Super Friends, that actually gets him to outer versal level to kill God. I don't fucking know. Like, he fully surrounds SpongeBob with the sea life, and like as SpongeBob's distracted, or like he uses mind control. There we go. He uses his mind control over sea animals to keep like SpongeBob in place, and then he rains his trident right for SpongeBob, killing him. Probably won't actually kill him in reality, but death battle kill. I'm lazy. That's a good enough excuse, right? I don't know. Oh god, that could be something. I don't know. And then if SpongeBob wins, so I've heard many people say they're worried about how SpongeBob would kill Aquaman because they don't really want him to break character like how Aang did in Aang vs. Ed. So maybe what I'm thinking is like do the whole Fred pulse thing. Like SpongeBob notices there's like a loose thread to the universe, and he like starts tugging on it to like fully unthread the universe, paying a reference to that one feat that everybody brings up when debating SpongeBob. I don't know, that's something. I feel like that'd be a good way to end it. It won't make for a bloody death, but it won't make for a brutal death, so you really won't be taking SpongeBob out of character. And it's a nice little reference to the show itself. I think that's a good way to end it. Also, for the fight, I hope they use like onomatopoeias. You know, like in those old those old superhero cartoons or like the Adam West Batman. Take that for example. Where, like, whenever they have, like, a punch, they have, like, pow! to like kind of block the actual punch. I kind of hope they have that in the episode. They kind of did do it a little bit in Deadpool vs. Pinkie Pie, so I hope they bring it back for this. Just like every time Aquaman punches SpongeBob, there's like a pow or a wallop effect. That could be funny. It'll be fitting. I feel like Super Friends would have had that, so I don't know. That'd be like one of the few things to be like, okay, yeah, that could be funny. That would be fun. Oh god. There's not a lot I'm looking forward to with this episode. I'm more so just looking forward to this waiting period to be fucking done. Anywho, that was, I think, would be good deaths, and I feel like it's gonna be Sprite. The Sprite feels likely. I've heard some people say hand-drawn, but I think they forget that we already got Omnilander, and there is a high possibility that we're getting a live-action episode this season, considering that Ben kind of teased that they're working with Ismahawk for an episode this season, and past season trends, this is the year that they'll do a live-action one. So, excuse me. With that in mind, I think it's gonna be put on Sprite. But if it was a season without a live-action one, I would perfectly say, yeah, not 3D, hand-drawn. Or you could have like it be mainly in sprites, but with a lot of little hand-drawn moments in the fight. Or Liam got drunk again with Jack, like when he did Jack vs. Afro, said, I'll animate the whole episode in hand-drawn, and then he animates the whole episode in hand-drawn animation. I don't know, I feel like, I don't know if this was confirmed, and it just blanked on my mind, but Luis. Did I say Liam? I hope I didn't say Liam. I always mix their names up for some reason. When Luis got drunk and said he would animate Jack vs. Afro all in hand-drawn, maybe Luis got drunk again with this episode and said he'll animate the whole episode hand-drawn. That's probably the only other way we would get 2 hand-drawn episodes in one season. Because that's how it happened before, when we also had a live-action episode back in Season 5. So that's the most I could... Like, that's the most plausible way I could see some 3D... Not 3D, bleh! In hand-drawn, if Luis got drunk again and said he'll animate the whole thing himself. Or maybe they can. I don't fucking know their budgets. Because live-action episodes are apparently very expensive to make. So, I don't know. And plus, it looked like Omnilander had a lot of budget gone into it with its art style and animation. So, yeah. And, like, Luis have been, like... Liam and Luis have both been hyping this up, because, why am I blanking on shit? Liam was hyping up in the last F-Battle cast, like, he's very excited for us, his favorite episode of the season, or, like, the one he was looking forward to the most. Meanwhile, Luis was, he's been hyping it up on Twitter, like, can you guess the episode that we're doing next? If you can guess it, I'll show it. And it's like, none of you are going to guess it. I'm excited for you to see the next time. So I feel like he's animating it, and then Liam is obviously writing it. It probably got confirmed, and I'm just blanking on it. You know, let's look that up. Let's see if that's actually on the wiki, if my phone loads. Can you load? I should be pausing it, but I'm not going to do it because I don't feel like it. No, not Aquaman and SpongeBob. Oh, I get the Death Battle actually with this. I did. Let me see. Has it been confirmed? And I'm just, load. Okay, well, the fandom doesn't even have, Liam writing it, so I should not have trusted that. But Liam's definitely writing it. I feel like if it was not confirmed, Luis is animating it. Whether in hand-drawn or sprite is up in the air, but I feel like hand-drawn would be most preferred. Sprite feels the most likely. I mean, you already got the Aquaman sprite. Just make him look like Fred Jones. Then you're golden. I imagine SpongeBob sprites are floating around on the internet, or they can easily make a custom one. But, yeah, that's my general thoughts. I kind of hope the track is a bit more like upbeat and comical. I don't know. Probably will be. And as for next time, I want to be a basic bitch and say probably Jason versus Michael. It just feels likely considering everything. If it's not Jason versus Michael, be a good matchup or something I could care about. God damn, ninth episode in a row. But if it's not Jason versus Michael, Clem versus Ellie, Sans versus Judge. I keep bringing up Sans versus Judge. Luigi versus Pac-Man. I'll take any of these. I'll take Mysterio versus Scarecrow, even though we're just getting a DC episode. We just had a Marvel versus DC episode. I would take these. These would be nice. Anyway, yeah, I'm not excited for this. There's ideas that I like, but generally, this is probably my least favorite announcement this whole fucking season. Maybe a whole year, I don't know. But, yeah. I hope the episode will be good, but I'm not excited for it. I hope the god's not filled with SpongeBob memes. I hope it's just not shitting on Aquaman the whole goddamn time. I hope the next time will be a good matchup. Anyways, peace.